Number 3, so we have Tony Simpson from Phillipstown, and we have Wayne Hawker and Alicia. Thank you, guys. I may actually be incredibly kind and give you the extra 2 minutes that Tanya left you as well.
Thank you. Tēnā koutou katoa, rao rangatira mā pai hutu o te waka nei, tēnā koutou katoa. Greetings, leaders.
Kia ora.
To the people that steer our canoe, greetings. I have pleasure in introducing Alicia Ward, our chairperson, and Wayne Hawker, our deputy.
Thank you, guys, and welcome indeed. We're completely in your hands and you're steering the ship at the moment.
It's really simple and it won't cost you anything. Save our school. As an aside, I'll just quickly say thanks to the council for all the efforts you're making in the Flockton cluster. No, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you all today. I represent the Phillipstown School Board of Trustees and our community, of which we've got many people here supporting us. Why am I here today? I think it's best summed up with 2 very, very relevant quotes. Local government is the foundation of a rich and vibrant democracy. Many of the most important decisions in people's lives are made in their local town hall, not in the beehive. That's how it should be. I'll continue with, local governments are uniquely placed to understand the social, economic, environmental and cultural needs of their communities, what were known as the 4 well-beings. That's why I'm here today. I'm here because we seek your support in requesting the Minister of Education grant a 2-year reprieve on the proposed merger with Woolston School. This is really important to us. The closure of Phillipstown School is not okay. This is happening in our city. It is being forced on us against our will. Our primary concern, as always, is what is in the best interests of our children. Nor is this in the best interests of our community. My plea is for you to stop this happening in our city. The rationale for our request is really as follows. The initial decision by the Minister of Education to close the school was made before a lot of information was actually available on the table. It was pre-census. Numerous reports and information and projects have since come out, and as we analyse those, we can only confirm our initial beliefs that this is not in the best interests of our children of Phillipstown. This must not happen. It's been proven in the High Court that the initial decision was illegal. My question to you is, are we as Christchurch citizens going to let this happen? Pre-census, we've now learned that Phillipstown was the fastest growing part of Christchurch City, I think at 8.4%. When the earthquake struck, yes, our roll dipped tremendously. We found our children, we brought them back to our fold, and our roll rocketed. Contrary to what the ministry was interested in hearing. I want to say that we're a strained community. We are hurting. We mustn't let this happen. I'll continue with, the Phillipstown area has been identified for intensification by the council, by the authorities vested with responsibilities for housing development. This will result in more families and of course the need for a school, and that has come out from a Housing New Zealand official to the Hagley Ferrymead Board, of which I'd like to acknowledge today for their ongoing and long-standing support. affordable housing initiatives in the area, including brownfields developments in a number of locations, within a stone's throw of Phillipstown School. Within 800 metres as we speak now, there are housing projects underway and about to be underway. Intensification of the Phillipstown area, is that a reason to shut down the school and destroy our community? That is contrary to all of the initiatives that yourselves and other agencies have been developing over many, many years. And I say destroying our community. There is much evidence that the impact of the closure of Phillipstown School will have a detrimental effect in our community and our city. Examples, and I acknowledge the constabulary behind me. The national award-winning Phillipstown Neighbourhood Policing Team attributes much of its success in reducing crime to its relationship with Phillipstown School, and I compliment them on their achievements. A disproportionately large amount of Christchurch crime did originate, in the Phillipstown, Linwood, New Brighton corridor. The neighbourhood policing team has resulted in a significant reduction in crime, 28%, I believe 41% less burglaries. This reduction of crime is estimated to have saved approximately $5.5 million in 1 year, with the cost of running the NPT at about 10% of that. Sergeant Todd Webley, who is here today, states that the relationship that the police has with the school has greatly assisted in achieving these results. The school not only facilitates good positive relationships with the pupils and their families, they have also identified issues that the police have been able to address and positively deal with. The loss of Phillipstown School will have a huge detrimental effect in many areas. Children's well-being will be compromised through having to move schools again. Consistent and settled schooling is seen as one of the most effective factors for learning success in disadvantaged communities such as Phillipstown. This is supported by international disaster relief in the UNICEF manuals. Should the school close, the well-being of already vulnerable children in a strained community will be compromised. Is that what we in this city want? One of my most important points is to highlight to the Council your significant investment to the well-being of children in the Phillipstown area. These investments include substantial funding of the Phillipstown Community Centre, which is on the school site, which runs OSCAR programs attended by the Phillipstown pupils. The Council, this Council, past Council, has invested a lot of time in the school on various projects and programs that contribute to the strengthening of our community. Currently, the school, the community centre, police and council work together on a number of initiatives that contribute directly to children's safety and well-being. This strong relationship will cease if the merger goes ahead. So I ask, your investment over many years is threatened. The insurance that you've put in place, the money you've invested, the funding, the projects have been built up and built up. It's going to be lost and essentially wasted. The Christchurch City Council has demonstrated its commitment to building strong communities, as demonstrated not only as above, but also through the resourcing of strengthening community advisors and the implementation of initiatives such as Safe Growth. Now, I could go on, but I can just say that your investment is threatened. We have developed many relationships with outside agencies and people to support the well-being of pupils at Phillipstown School. You don't build these relationships up overnight, but worse still, wiping them out with the stroke of a pen is going to be disastrous. This school offers the community a large, well-resourced and safe and established site which has the potential to serve the focal point of its community. We are an established hub That's what the government has been talking about. So many of the initiatives that the government are currently talking about are actually being reversed by their decision, which I think is just totally wrong. I want to just say that the initial reason that we have opposed this merger is because 97% of our community rejected this proposal. When it was first put forward, things haven't changed. The consultation process has been deemed unlawful, it is ill-timed, and it is not in the best interests of our children. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you very much. I just intend to sort of slightly forget about the 10-minute rule just for you guys.
Appreciate it.
Because you raised very many very valid points, and I think there will be a lot of questions, and I think it would be idiotic not to deal with them.
Appreciate it.
So it's just chairperson's privilege at the moment. So we'll just go around the table. Andrew?
Thank you very much for coming to talk to us today. Certainly very interesting to hear the effects of the school closure on the community. And one thing that concerns me, listening to what you're saying and reading the information that we've been given here as well, there are so many different groups and activities and liaisons and other things happening in the school that obviously add to the strength of the whole community. And in fact, there's a lot of activity going on here that you've achieved, that a lot of communities in fact aspire to and haven't as yet achieved. What's going to happen to a lot of those activities, or perhaps all of those activities, if the school closes? Is there anywhere else in the Philliptown community for some of those activities to go, or will most of that, like the after-school programme, for example, or the Kohanga Reo, or will those sort of things just stop happening, or will they go elsewhere?
Some things will stop immediately, but I will say that I can see no evidence to suggest that the proposal, as they have it, is going to be effective or indeed continue any of the 36 wonderful partnerships that we've established. Now, many of them were before my time, but I've been there 14 years, and I can say that Phillipstown School has amazing relationships with so many agencies. You don't build them up overnight, and I can't see any evidence that they're going to continue.
And that's a shame, because for all of that work to be squandered is a real pity.
No evidence. We at Phillipstown have a way, it's called the Phillipstown Way, where we focus on people. They're our greatest asset. And the networks that we've established, the partnerships that we've established, are largely because of the type of people we are. And I'm totally unconvinced that there's any evidence that this is going to continue.
Thank you very much for your submission, Tony. And look, I just wanted to start by saying, look, I really admire your resilience and also acknowledge the pain that you as a school and your trustees and your whole community have been going through on top of the earthquakes with this. But look, I just want to ask you, I'm just wondering, in terms of what we'll be deciding on a 2-year reprieve, is that going to really be enough to allay the perception of the community that in fact the school can hang in?
Oh, very much so. There's a real heart in Phillipstown, and we're told that every day. But I'm just going to say that there is significant, I made reference to it, significant information becoming available by the week. Now, one such example is, I've mentioned the housing projects. We haven't got all of the information on those, but we know that there's intensification in the Phillipstown area. We want to find out more. The Ombudsman's report on mergers and closures is due next month. It's been delayed 9 months. Isn't it important for that to come out first? The general election has brought up various issues, with political parties unprecedentedly stating that they support Phillipstown School. That doesn't happen just because they want to. They have very strong evidence that it's meeting the needs of, once again, our most important asset, our children. This city's children. Now, there's so much more information that we're learning. The Sea Level Rise report, page 63, Tonkin and Taylor, November 2013, 93 pages, but on page 63 it states that Phillipstown School is not in a flood or sea rise prone area. but the proposed site is, and that there should be a managed retreat. We as a board do not know the full implications of that, so we need more time to talk to engineers to see if it is a very, very valid threat. So really, Phil, there's just so much information that we need to digest.
Thank you.
Morning, Tony, everyone. Good to see you again, and
Great,
obviously
Glenn.
fully supportive.
Thank you.
Just, we went through something similar, but a bit different with Arangi School and its closure. What do you make of this? What lies behind the proposed closure of Phillipstown?
Again, consultation must mean that all information must be on the table from day one. It was clearly proven in the High Court that that was not the case and therefore deemed illegal. We don't know what's really behind it. We're not being told. We have suffered a flawed process, and this city is inadvertently being dragged into it. And Phillipstown School has had that guts to stand up and say, this is not okay. So what's behind it? Is it reducing the government's property footprint? Ask them, but not getting told. Is it charter schools and that sort of thing? We've asked them, but not being told. No, we don't really know their motives. All we know is that the Phillipstown School children are not being valued like they should be. And easy access to their local school is an absolute right in New Zealand.
Moving right along, Ali.
Very quickly. Tony, good to see you. I just wanted to chuck some of the reasons that Minister Parata has explained this away with and get your response on them. Wollston School is very close. You have a very small role. There are surplus positions at other primary schools. And she also mentions other property issues. Adds that improved technology at one school like Wollston will in fact help all of the children that go to that school. I don't expect you to respond to each of those, however, we hear things like that.
2 hours should be enough.
All right, well, small school and surplus
Okay, well, it's not a small school because we've got a roll of 1,300. I cannot accept the Minister's view.
That includes the technology
Exactly.
stuff. Yep.
And we are one staff, 38 staff, 1,300 pupils made up of 120 full-time pupils and 1,136 part-time tech pupils. That's not a small role. And one of the unique things about Phillipstown is its recipe that we can share and get economy of scale with resources. So 1,300 pupils. And sadly, the Minister seems to have forgotten that there is the tech centre there from 1907 serving 30 client schools. And we're right well positioned geographically. Close to Wollston School, that ferry road is dangerous, 22,000 vehicles. It's going to be developed into a 4-lane corridor. I wouldn't send my children along there. 2 of our staff alone in the last year have had accidents on Ferry Road from side vehicles coming out, and it's just not safe. Sorry.
Okay, I'm just going to need to speed up the question and answer just before I break every rule in the book. But Pauline, and then I'll come around this side of the
Thanks, Tony. You have a technical part of the school, and is that staying open?
The decision has split the school staff and sectors in two. They're not sure what to do with the technology centre. They're reviewing it. So there's a huge review in technology provision in Christchurch now. We would like the reprieve to sink in with that.
So what size component of the school is that geographically? About a tenth or a quarter?
10 full-time teachers out of 23.
So if they called for that to stay open, it would be a large area of the school that would stay open?
Yes.
It's quite bizarre, thank you. Oh, and what's the role of your kohanga brau?
I think it's about 20. I'm not entirely sure today.
Okay. Paul.
Thanks, Tony. Look, I know you guys you've actually put the heart into Phillipstown, and I think we've got to remember too that whilst you've got a large role, the purpose of the city is to intensify the city to about 20,000 residents over the next coming years. So that's going to prove that you're going to need to have a school in that locality. The other thing too is that you touched on the sea level rise and the flood-prone areas, but we didn't actually talk about the actual quality of the land either. So we know that since the earthquake, we've discovered TC3, TC2, TC1, all these various different ratings. And my understanding, and you might be able to put throw some light on this here, is that the land quality in the area where the Phillipstown School is far better than the proposed area for a rebuild.
Yes.
So in the event of another quake, God forbid, the Phillipstown area is certainly far better quality to actually
Absolutely.
keep the school there.
That's exactly right. We're surrounded by green zone streets. The nearest red zone is down the road and round the corner. The initial rationale said that there were likely to be issues subsoil, but we actually investigated and challenged that and found there to be no site-specific geotechnical report. We've now got that, and they've clearly stated, an independent geotechnical engineer has clearly stated there are no issues at all. So no, we're not in a flooding area, we're not in a sea rise area, so we're proud of it, and it's a 2.2 hectare site.
Okay, just breaking a few more rules. Yanni, yep.
Just very quick.
But let's do the questions now, guys, and we'll do the debate.
Yeah, it's a question.
later.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at the heart of this really seems to be about local democracy, and I was really interested in how the board, the Board of Trustees, is being incorporated into the merged school. Can you just help me understand, because we were given assurances that, you know, it was a genuine merger, and can you just tell us what's happened with the current Board of Trustees to the proposed new school?
Well, the current Phillipstown School Board of Trustees remains. The merged board is now meeting. But the Minister called for applications to join the merged board, and with applications closing on the 14th of May, just after the school term break. I did receive during the holidays a phone call from Wellington naming the new board, and that was on the 2nd of May. And I said, well, there seems to be a problem that you've named the board 13 days before closure of the applications. And I do see that as an incorrect statement that apparently during the holidays there may have been a communication sent to me, I've yet to locate it, telling me that in the holidays when the school's closed that the Minister has brought forward that date. I still haven't found that communication. I pointed this out to them, and I'm sorry, it doesn't seem to be democratic at all, does it? But I know for a fact that there was a person going to apply who was within the time frame and was unable to.
Okay, we'll come to that in the debate. Last question, Jimmy.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. One question, okay, Tony. Yeah, regarding to your recommendation, 2 years, reply or merge of the Phillipstown School and the Worston School. This idea, have you ever engaged with the Worston School, especially there the school, the Board of Trustees?
Oh, absolutely. I have a good relationship with all of the people on that and talk with them as required. I will say that one of the key points that the parents are telling us that they're very concerned that they're moving to a building site. And that's one of the pieces of feedback from our community. Very, very concerned. Engaging with the Worston Board of Trustees, yeah, no problem at all.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We've broken every rule that normally we set ourselves, but well worth it. Thank you very much indeed. What I just want to check is Phil and Andrew. We have you guys next as a deputation. I appreciate that you've just been given a report and haven't had a chance to read it, and so has the council. I'm not sure if you want to do a deputation now or whether we'll break a few more rules and make it slightly later so that you've had the chance to absorb it. What would you prefer, Phil?
Yes, I prefer later.
Okay. In that case, you guys get to go away from the helm of the ship for just a wee minute. But thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.